look at the graphics in the title. Remember the day when we actually used to be impressed by graphics in the title? Remember the day we used to be impressed by graphics, period. Like movies would come out with CGI, early movies, and we would be like, whoa. And now movies come out with CGI, and we're like, look at that tank model. Is this what the tanks in the game are gonna look like? This might be a good game. Let's look at the game graphics. Oh no. No, thank you. Is this footage from the Game Boy Advance version? This is a PlayStation game? This is a console game? This is a 32-bit game? I don't believe it. I can't get over the graphics in this game. They're just so... what? I was not expecting graphics this bad. But the actual game isn't technically bad. You control these tanks. You can choose from a couple of different tanks. One tank has really strong armor, but it's supposed to be slow. And the other tank is medium armor and medium speed. And the third tank has fast speed and low armor. Now, which one of these would you choose as a tank? You know, a tank that's supposed to have high armor? Would you choose to use the tank with low armor? No, you would not. The funny part is, the tank that's supposed to be slow with high armor, it's not slow. Here's the tank driving. Is this slow to you? This tank is going like 30, 40 miles an hour. This is a speeding tank. Like, even the slowest tank in this game is incredibly fast. The medium tank, it feels like it's going just as fast as the slow tank. And the fast tank, I guess it's going a little faster, but it's not worth it. You don't need to be going fast in this game. You don't need to be really going fast as a tank. That's not what tanks are about. Like, going fast is just gonna make it harder to hit the other enemies. You have to line up your shots with the enemies, because a lot of them are moving as well. Pretty much all the enemies. You can either aim by rotating the tank cannon, or just like line yourself up with the enemies. Most of the time, you won't be rotating the cannon. You just point the cannon forward, and you will be trying to line yourself up with the enemies, which also means the enemies are gonna hit you, because you're not really maneuvering too well. You can kind of get away with doing this with the tank that has high armor, but the other two, not so much. So you really have to get really good at driving the tanks and aiming at the same time, and also moving out of the way. It's not a bad game at all. In fact, it's called Mass Destruction because you can destroy pretty much everything in this game. It's pretty cool how you can just shoot buildings, silos, enemies, a bunch of guys running around, and you also have different types of weapons. You have heat-seeking missiles, you have cannons, you have like automatic rifles equipped to the tank, which are like the best to just destroy people running around on foot like soldiers. It feels like squashing bugs. The gameplay is actually really fun, just in terms of pure unadulterated carnage. But what really brings the game down is the rudimentary graphics, which just don't belong on the PlayStation 1. Especially for when this game came out, we already had games with better graphics. For example, around the same time, we had a game come out called Black Dawn, which I reviewed just a week or so ago. It wasn't a tank game, it was a helicopter simulator game, but it's very similar to this type of game because you have the same missions. It's a military game where you move around a military vehicle and destroy enemies. That game had fairly good graphics. Now, the helicopter in that game was pretty hard to control, and there was a lot to remember, a lot more than this game. But again, the graphics with this game compared to Black Dawn, it's like two different consoles. Black Dawn feels like it's on a console that's like 5 years younger than this one. I guarantee you this game could have come out for the Super Nintendo. And I'm not like a graphics whore, I don't really care about graphics, but in this particular game it kinda irks me the wrong way, because you expect something a little better from a war game. Ultimately, I think there's a little bit more good in this game than bad. I think it's definitely worth it, but it's only worth it for like 5 or 10 minutes. This is a game that you play just to cause a little havoc, blow up a few enemy buildings, blow up enemy tanks, and then you'll get tired within minutes. Unless you're like a bloodthirsty dictator that constantly needs to kill non-stop. Unless you're like Ivan the Impaler, this game will lose its luster for you fairly quickly. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more classic game reviews. Goodbye, my friends.